at Herrick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Boys State basketball is over, and here are your class champions. Starting with D2, local school Parkview Christian would upset number 1 Wynot 52-49. In Class D1, Johnson Brock would take down number 1 Sacred Heart 46-40. In Class C2, Freeman would dominate in the championship game over Amherst 53-35. Ashland Greenwood would take the C1 title championship, beating Auburn 54-24. In Class B, Scott Catholic beat Platteview 57-50. And in Class A, Bellevue West would finish on a perfect season, winning the championship over Miller North 64-41. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Are you ready for $0 cost individual employee health insurance? How about company paid life insurance? What about on-the-job paid training? Become part of the Landmark difference today. Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, at our upcoming career fairs. Chat one-on-one with our team to hear what it's really like to work with us. Career fairs will be held at Landmark locations March 14th in Fairfield, March 16th in Hebron, March 21st in Holdridge, and March 22nd in Marysville, Kansas, and March 23rd in Beatrice, Nebraska. See more details at www.landmark.careers.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. We are live from Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O. It's time for the happy hour. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary joining you. Rico, what's up, man?
Hello.
How we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm eating some wings. I ate all my fries. I got a drink. I'm doing some radio. I'm watching some basketball. We've also got some wrestling on the screen as well.
Yeah.
As of 4 minutes ago, the first Husker 5-time All-American, Mikey Labriola, as he moves on to tonight's semifinals with a 4-3 victory over Missouri wrestler Mako.
Yeah. So, I mean,
no, 5-time All-American Mikey Labriola.
Yeah, no, Husker wrestling, we talked about it yesterday afternoon, putting in work at the NCAA championships there.
Let's see who all moved on. Just so we can mention everybody, give everybody some love. So, Bubba Wilson, I want to say it's Wilson. I want to get it right.
Yes.
Yep, Bubba Wilson moves on in the consolation bracket at 165. Mikey Labriola, as we said. Peyton Robb moving on. He's an All-American. That's 3-time All-American as he's on to the semifinals. Brock Hardy on to the semifinals with a 7-0 win, becoming an All-American. And Liam Cronin, an All-American at 125, moving on in overtime to the semifinals over Virginia Tech's Van Treska.
There you go. So once again, Husker Wrestling putting in work. As we'll keep you updated throughout all the shows in the afternoon and so on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Been a good couple days of basketball. We'll talk about the yesterday's games here in a moment. But today we have a 3-seed. Xavier, I wouldn't necessarily say on the ropes quite yet because it's still 12 minutes to go in the ball game, but they trail number 14 seed Kennesaw State by 11. Enrico, I mean this. If you want to talk about detrimental to a lot of people's brackets, including mine. I have Xavier going a pretty long way.
I think I had Xavier in the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8, but either way, I had them winning this game, and it doesn't look great right now for Xavier, so we'll see exactly what happens with them. But like you said, it's early in this one. There's still about 12 minutes left, a little bit less than 12 minutes left, so we'll see what happens. But look, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care.
Really?
Bring it on. Kennesaw State, baby. Let's do it.
Kennesaw State, UC Santa Barbara is down by 31-30 with a couple minutes left in the first half.
That one would
seed
destroy
Baylor.
me. That one would. That one would destroy me.
Now I hate to say this, but if UC Santa Barbara can get the job done today against Baylor, now there's a lot of ball game left. The winner of that game plays the winner of 6 seed Creighton and 11 seed NC State. Now that second matchup, obviously Creighton's got to get past NC State, the Wolfpack, later on this afternoon. But here's the thing: I mean, if you're looking at Creighton and Greg McDermott there, that's a pretty favorable matchup. I'm sure they'd much rather play UC Santa Barbara, the number 3 seed Baylor.
Yeah, even if UC Santa Barbara beats Baylor, I'm sure, like you said, Creighton would much rather play the Gauchos than the Bears. The
Gauchos,
Bears,
great mascot.
It is a great mascot. They're really good at baseball, right?
Yeah, they had some, and DP could probably correct me if I'm wrong, they had some really good late 2000s baseball in the couple College World Series appearances, right, DP? Yeah, so he's nodding his head. And I mean, a lot of those, we've talked about before when we get ready for Husker baseball, is there's so much more value at the beginning of the season for some of those teams that live on the coast because they can practice outside. Nebraska, I will say, and Will Bolt has talked about this at a couple practices that we've been able to go to and talk to him. He's talked about how the weather in February was favorable enough that they were able to get outside. And obviously with Den Hartog having the turf field now rather than the conventional dirt and grass, it gives them an opportunity to get outside in February. It unfortunately hasn't stayed that way through March because Nebraska, they tried to dodge the weather this weekend, going down to Kansas State to play.
Didn't work.
Unfortunately, they're playing a doubleheader today now because they had to cancel yesterday's game due to weather. So they're trying their best to get their non-con slate in. They're playing down at Kansas State in Manhattan right now against, I believe, Nichols.
Yes,
is who they're playing. And K-State's got a brand new facility down there right next to the football stadium. It's pretty cool.
How do you go about asking? Do you just call the other school, the other AD, and you're just like, hey,
assume so.
We've got bad weather. Can we play at your facilities?
I would assume that there's financials involved there as well. Nebraska softball, I know, also was in talks about moving locations for their weekend slate, and here we are. Once again, though, Buffalo Wings Ring 68-0. Nick Sainer, Rico joining you here. Ticket, come on down. We got green beers since it's St. Patrick's Day. Rico, we're lacking a little bit on the green.
I got green.
You got green on the hat.
So
we have green on the necklaces.
So I was gonna wear a green shirt, but I was like, I'm gonna wear the hoodie with the ticket logo on it, so you wouldn't be able to see the green shirt anyway. Yeah. So I was like, I'll wear the hat. I got green socks. I got little Rick and Morty portal socks on.
There you go. So, nobody can see them.
Yeah, nobody can see them because I'm wearing jeans because it's March and it's cold outside. I'm not gonna wear shorts. But I've got green on. It's just not very visible. Well, it's on the hat. It's on the necklace. I mean, we're good.
I also, as I was picking the outfit today, and it takes like 10 seconds to pick what I'm going to wear. Now, I sit here and I go,
I can tell.
Thank you. I sit there and I go, I realized I don't have a lot of green. And I realized that every single St. Patrick's Day. It's like I don't have a lot of green in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of blues, it's a lot of reds, it's a lot of grays.
Yep.
Not a lot of greens. And that's kind of sad considering that I went to Pius. But I guess that just tells you that I kind of
would you clear it out?
Well, I outgrew it. Width-wise, not height-wise. So here
hey, you said it. I wasn't going to say anything.
Exactly. So once again, we're live. Buffalo Wings and Rings, rather. 55-44 is the Kennesaw State lead over the number 3 seed Xavier. Michigan State, I believe, is about to close out USC. They're up by 10 with 46 seconds, and the whole mantra of don't bet against Tom Izzo in March stands true.
It lives, even though I bet against Tom Izzo in March and I picked USC to win.
Yeah.
I was wrong there. Baylor, down by 1 at halftime to UC Santa Barbara, 36-35.
Hey.
Today is fun.
There's a lot of good ones today. Yesterday there were a lot of good ones as well. Furman defeats Virginia on a really, really questionable decision by Virginia.
Just a bad decision by the Virginia guard. You had a timeout. You were trapped. You could have done a lot of things.
Yep.
And you decided to chuck it towards the middle of the court, and it got picked off. And Up for a 3.
And Tony Bennett admitted this in his post-game press conference yesterday. Tony Bennett, the head coach of Virginia, was like, listen, you're going to see that's going to cloud all of the good things that I believe his name's Kihei Clark. Kihei Clark has done over his career. He set up one of the most important shots in an NCAA tournament a couple years ago with an assist that was for a similar distance. He chucked it about 3/4 of the court down into the paint on their side of the floor, ended up getting an assist for a shot that was made by their post player a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament. He's been a big contributor for Virginia and for head coach Tony Bennett, but now and Bennett said this yesterday, it's going to be overshadowed by that questionable. You had a timeout, you could have hit it off the leg, you could have done something rather than trying to chuck it.
Chuck and duck.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunate circumstance for Virginia and for a lot of people's brackets. You had Princeton with the unthinkable over number 2 seed Arizona yesterday. That was a lot of fun to be a part of as well. There was a lot going on.
It was a blast. It was a blast to watch. I noticed I didn't watch the Duke game, but it seems like they kind of took care of business in their first-year head coach, undefeated at home, and first victory in the NCAA tournament under his belt.
It seemed to surprise a lot of people that Oral Roberts didn't show up or didn't even win.
Yeah.
Did you pick Oral Roberts?
No, I picked Duke.
I picked Duke as well, but it felt like there was a popular opinion to pick Oral Roberts.
That was one of the more popular upset picks, was Oral Roberts over Duke for whatever reason, just because, this isn't the same Duke squad as it has been with Coach K at the helm, but, it's still Duke. They still have all of these very talented players, but, I don't know why everybody wanted to pick Oral Roberts in their 7'5" center, but that was one of the more popular picks, and for some people, unfortunately, it didn't pan out. But I ain't mad at it. What I am mad at is Arizona losing to Princeton.
Yeah, you had Arizona going a long ways. I have Xavier going a long ways.
Yeah, I had Arizona in the Sweet 16. So, it doesn't hurt me that bad, but it does hurt.
To bring it back to Nebraska really quickly, Kennesaw State, you might remember, is a team that came in last year to Pinnacle Bank Arena and lost to the 7-25 overall Huskers, 88-74. So, listen, I'm not saying that there's a trend here, but
I'm not saying that Nebraska would have had success.
And I double-checked the rosters, and there's a lot of the similar guys on this roster. We're seeing Terrell Burden carry the ball right now. He had 27 in Lincoln last year, and now he's the leading scorer for Kennesaw this season as well. And here they are, 59-48, an 11-point lead with the ball with just over 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Now to make it a 13-point lead, 61-48.
Nebraska should have been in the tournament.
Nebraska deserved to be in some tournament.
That says to
whether
me.
It was an NIT, whether it was a NCAA tournament, they deserve to be in something.
Should have been somewhere. But speaking of tournaments and NITs, we know who the women's opponent for tomorrow is, or Sunday is, as they get to take on the Panthers of Northern Iowa, where our good friend Ethan Petrick is covering the
shout out to Big Sky,
the Northern Iowa Panthers.
People might not remember Ethan Petrick; they remember Big Sky.
Sorry. Big Sky is working in Iowa, helping cover the Northern Iowa Panthers and a lot of the high school action around that area of Iowa. So I did ask him if he was going to be in attendance at PBA. I don't think he will be, and I'm very sad about it. But, Nebraska and Northern Iowa, I think it was 2 p.m. On Sunday inside PBA. So get out there, support your Huskers as they go for a second-round NIT win. And I said it before, but I'll say it again. As long as they keep winning, there's a chance that they can keep hosting games if they're willing to pay up.
That's what I was going to say, because you've been doing a lot of research on the women's NIT, and it's different than the men's NIT. There's no seeding. There's a difference in who hosts and how. Explain that, because Nebraska women's basketball, there's support there. There's support there from the administration. There's support there from the fans as well. How do they decide and how do they decipher on who's going to host and how the matchups are played?
So, like you said, there is no seeding. And for the first couple of rounds, what they're doing is they're matching up teams regionally. So that's why Nebraska played Missouri State, and that's why the winner of whatever that game that they would have played was Northern Colorado and Northern Iowa. They match up these teams regionally so that nobody has to travel a crazy distance for the first couple of rounds. And in terms of hosting, like you said, there's no seeding, so there's no higher seed hosts, and there's no this team is a Division I program, so they're going to host, because there have been multiple instances where in the women's NIT, it's been 2 mid-majors, so-called, and one of them hosted. I believe South Dakota State won it and hosted the championship game last year up in Billings, Brookings, South Dakota. Billings, that's Montana. Up in Brookings, South Dakota. So as long as Nebraska, what they do is they go off of a, I don't remember what the word is called, but pretty much the school that wants to host just has to offer more money.
Gotcha.
So if they want to host, they got to tell the NIT, like, hey, we're willing to pay this much to host. And the NIT's like, all right, cool. We'll tell the team that they're headed to you. So as long as Nebraska keeps winning, if you look at the bracket currently up until the enormous 8, I don't know what they call it. It's not Elite 8, whatever 8. They'll be facing teams who, in my mind, have a lower financial capability than Nebraska does. But once they get past that, you know, you get into your, depending on who keeps winning, because like I said, South Dakota State was in the championship last year. Depending on that, you could face Oregon in the championship or in that Final Four area. You got Syracuse on the other side of the bracket. You know, some bigger schools like that still around. I believe Nebraska is the only Big Ten team in the women's NIT though.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be interesting as the NCAA tournament evolves to see where potential player of the year Caitlin Clark and Iowa women's basketball ends up. Indiana basketball, how they end up.
Seed.
Illinois
lost in their play-in game to Mississippi State.
I did see that as well. So Big Ten is obviously, and then on the men's side you have Purdue as a 1 seed who I expect to have little issue. But don't hold your breath here, Rico, as Kennesaw State's lead has shrunk to just 8. And I say just 8 because Xavier starting to turn on the Jets and starting to kind of put their foot on the pedal.
We'll see what happens.
And see how that one finishes. About 8 minutes left in the game there for Kennesaw State, the 14 seed and the 3 seed Xavier.
Update on the women's bracket, just real quick. Like I said, Illinois played in the first 4 games against Mississippi State as the 11th seed. They lost. Tennessee Tech beat Monmouth. Purdue lost to St. John's in the first 4. Sacred Heart beat Southern. And of the games that have concluded today for the women's NCAA championship bracket, South Florida beat Marquette. And where was the other one? There was one more that got done. Arizona beat West Virginia. And of the games that are going on right now, Georgia is currently, 10-seeded Georgia is currently leading 7th-seeded Florida with about a minute left in the second quarter, 33-29. And let me see, is there anybody else going on? Nope, doesn't look like anybody else is playing right now.
You got to also think that when you're talking about the women's basketball tournament, really quickly before we go to break, it's South Carolina and Dawn Staley against the field.
So
Aaliyah Boston is one of a kind.
Oh, yes.
And Dawn Staley is an insane basketball coach. And it's like you want to put Iowa up there, but until they are able to get across that line and beat them in the national title game, it's South Carolina versus the field in my opinion.
See, Iowa's in the Seattle region, and they have Stanford in their region.
That's right.
And Stanford, I didn't do a lot of research when I filled out my bracket, because I did fill out my bracket. But
do you have South Carolina winning?
I do have South Carolina, of course. But Stanford and South Carolina in the Final Four. Cameron Brink for Stanford is a beast. So she averages 14.9 points, 9.5 rebounds, 1.9 assists. But the thing for her is her block numbers. Let me see if I can find her block number. She is at home averaging 3.5 blocks a game.
That's crazy.
For a career, for this season, she's averaging 3.4 blocks per game. And she's shooting 49% from the field. She is a problem. So I really hope we get Stanford and South Carolina in that Final Four for women's basketball, because I will be watching that one.
We got a really good crowd here. Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and Nick and Rico hanging out with you. It's the happy hour. Got a good show lined up for you, as well as we'll have talking about the Athletic wrote an article on the biggest or the most potential upsets.
Ooh.
What games have the highest chance of being an upset, right? Some of them already have them. Some of them are scheduled to play later today. Obviously, my national champion pick, Marquette, is set to tip off here at 1:45 or so, going up against the Vermont Catamounts. So we'll see what happens with the Golden Eagles and the Catamounts coming up in about 20 minutes or so. And then also we'll have the conclusions of Xavier, Kennesaw State. I believe Michigan State and USC has concluded.
Yeah,
and we'll tell you more about the NCAA tournament or wrestling tournament going on right now, as well as Huskers are representing strong all over the place here. It's happy St. Patrick's Day. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Happy Hour on the Ticket.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to MWRbuildingandfence.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-clean protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Oh my gosh, I'm obese.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Rico's time is now.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, so we got a little thing developing between Kennesaw State and Xavier. After being down by as much as 13, potentially, Xavier has stormed all the way back with 4 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Xavier, the 3 seed, lead by 1, 62-61 over Kennesaw State. So what a comeback for good old Sean Miller's squad. The
Those
Xavier
darn Musketeers.
Musketeers. I kept wanting to say the Mountaineers, and I knew that was incorrect. It's the Musketeers.
I would like to think that I know most of the mascots.
Ooh. That would be a good game to play if we had all the time on our hands.
I think I did. I mean, we have time. You got this right behind you.
I do.
You'll have to know what they are, but I think I
have a pretty good.
I think I can do a pretty good job. There might be a couple that I don't remember.
There's a couple of the obviously. I think all the Power 5 we'd be able to get.
Okay, so Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they're the Islanders.
Yep.
Charleston. I remember what they were. I'm gonna say Cougars, but I know that's wrong.
Didn't you do a shootout with Strick
on
the mascots?
I did.
And you still don't remember.
I don't remember Charleston's though. I know Furman's the Paladins.
Yeah.
I know that. UC Santa Barbara Gauchos.
Yep.
Utah State Aggies, Princeton Tigers, Texas Southern Tigers, Florida Atlantic Owls, Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Yes. Yep.
Let me see. Louisiana Raging Cajuns, Providence. Oh, what was Providence?
The Friars.
Come on, yeah.
Rico.
Sorry, my bad.
Like even like Kennesaw State.
I almost said that's the Owls.
Nice
I know that.
job. There
Northern
it is.
Kentucky Norse. They're not the Vikings. They're the Norse.
Yeah, so it's
pretty much a Viking though.
Yeah, so there's a couple good mascots, like we said. The Gauchos are right up there in this.
You know, Colgate is the Raiders.
I did know that actually. I did.
Howard Bison.
Are they? Did you? So is it the Bison or the Bison? Are they like they like North Dakota State, where they get
That's
pretty?
a DP question.
They get pretty into the whole bison.
Bison or
Bison.
Bison.
Got it.
No,
bison.
Bison.
Bison. All right.
Okay, so
I thought he was making the Z.
I thought he was making the Z too.
Not the S.
Bison. So
Bison.
not North Dakota State. So they're the Bison.
Bison.
Right?
Yeah. And they get pretty up in arms about it if you incorrectly say it.
St. Mary's and Iona, both Gales.
Yes.
So if
I
they
like
match
St.
up,
Mary's a lot in
they
this
can
tournament.
match up.
However, I know they're playing VCU right now, so that game is on.
They
at
are
some point.
tied 21-all.
Okay, there it is.
They could match up in the second round, both of them.
All knotted
Gales
up.
versus Gales.
Got Rick Pitino. I have a weird feeling that Rick Pitino might leave for a Power 5 job after this season.
He said he's not, so I have no choice but to believe him.
Okay.
Obviously.
There it is.
Rick Pitino would never lie to me.
Rick Pitino, yeah, exactly. Well, what's interesting is now Kenny, speaking of Louisville and a little bit of a Louisville connection, Kenny Payne got a big commitment the other day from a former 5-star guard that was at Illinois, and then a couple weeks into the season, after playing some significant minutes, his name's Sky Clark, ended up leaving the program. It was actually I want to say a week before Nebraska played Illinois.
That was a big deal. I remember that.
And anyway, Sky Clark committed to Louisville and Kenny Payne yesterday. So
originally, before even Illinois, a Kentucky commit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sky Clark.
So look at that, Louisville after winning like 3 games this season, something like that, gets a former 5-star to commit.
Which I was curious, and I didn't get to watch any of Louisville's games down the road. I wonder what like fan engagement at a place like Louisville is. Because we talk about it at a fan engagement at Nebraska, right? Mm-hmm. Where it was like, hey, listen, look at what Keisei Tominaga has been able to do, and look at what this team as a whole. And obviously they're easy to cheer for, they're fun to cheer for. when they were playing, like the whole Sam Greasel coming back to Lincoln and playing his final year in his hometown. You have a guy in Derek Walker that's been here for the long haul and through all the ups and downs and all the changes in not only teammates but also coaches and all the struggles. He's still here. And then now you have a guy in Keisei Tominaga that's just a blast to cheer for and super fun to watch on the floor. And not only his talent, but just his antics and the way he kind of carries himself throughout the game.
He is not lacking in confidence.
We were talking about how, hey, listen, when Emmanuel Bandamel and Juwan Gary went down with an injury, Nebraska was around 500. They were a couple games below, if I remember correctly.
No, they were above, I think. They
were
like
okay,
2
so
games over.
they were around 500, and it was like we were sitting there going, oh, boy, what's the fan engagement going to be like if this team loses a couple in a row?
Mm-hmm.
But then we found ourselves at the end of the year against Maryland, against against Maryland and the Michigan State. Michigan State. You had sellouts.
Yeah.
You had the place full of 15,000 people, if not back to the brim. So I wonder other places like Louisville where they go through a singular win season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm curious, or single-digit win season.
I feel like
I'm wondering what it's like.
I don't know. I feel like it would be decently high just because you still have, it's been a little bit, but they still have a little lingering of a national championship win.
But with a coach that committed a lot of NCAA violations.
That is true. But, I mean, you still got the win. Look, it doesn't matter if you committed the violations because you can't take that win away from the fans. You can take it away from the coach. You can take it away from the program whenever. But the fans still have those T-shirts. The fans still have those memories.
Yeah,
and so do the players that were on those teams. Even Reggie Bush, like, he didn't win the Heisman, but to me, Reggie Bush won the Heisman. Like, it happened.
Well, yeah,
Sorry
I agree
about
on
it.
that one.
That's just something that happened. So you can take those away, but it's still there for them. So maybe with those lingering residual effects there, but also you could think about that and then think about Strick's being a fool.
Strick, get yourself a green beer. Get yourself a green beer.
But then you think about it that way where they're used to being in the tournament, used to winning a national championship, and now they have a singular win, or not a single digit wins on the season. That would be kind of hard for a fan base that's used to success.
Well, I mean, think about in a place like Louisville where basketball is probably the front runner, right?
Yep.
Where in Nebraska it's football, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's like it'd be a similar situation just in a single year of what Nebraska fans are going through with football.
Yeah, 3 wins, but it was still sellouts. It was still the stadium.
True.
The
At
stadium
the
was still
KFC
packed.
Yum Center.
Shout out to the KFC Yum Center.
KFC Yum Center down in Louisville.
One of the best named arenas in all of sports.
Yeah. So once again, update from around some of the games that is going on currently. We have Kennesaw State and Xavier, which is going down to the wire here. We're all knotted up at 63 with 3.5 minutes to go between the 14 and the 3 seed. Baylor and UC Santa Barbara has begun in the second half. We're all tied up there, 39 apiece. And then just at the last check, VCU and St. Mary's.
27-21, St. Mary, 21-21. It's still
21-21. So we're all knotted up there as well. So 3 games and 3 ties going on right now. Can't ask for much more here in day 2 of March Madness. And we are here at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and 0 for March Mayhem. Rico, before we get to break,
yes,
let's go through. The Athletic wrote an article of a couple of the top 10 most likely upsets in college basketball and March Madness going on right now.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start with the most likely. And funny enough, and Strick's making friends over here with all their green beers.
There you go, Stricky.
Yeah, by the way, if you come on down, if you get a Bud Light or a Busch Light, you can get it in the green color. So you might as well come on down 68th and 0, celebrate St. Patrick's. Make sure you're wearing green.
I might get one during the next break.
I dove into the green beer pool just last commercial break.
Are you Bud or Busch?
Bud.
Okay.
Bud.
Okay. I think I might go there as well.
So anyway,
I might join you.
Top 10 most likely first round upsets right here.
Okay.
Number 1, it happened yesterday.
Ooh.
Can you guess?
It happened yesterday.
It happened yesterday.
It's got to be upset.
There's
Texas A&M Penn State.
No. There's only – so here's what's crazy about this. Only one of the top 10 happened yesterday. All of the other 9 are games that are going on today.
Furman, Virginia?
Yeah.
That was the most likely?
The upset chance, 39.3%, according to The Athletic.
I guess everybody should have seen this
Number
one
13, Furman, defeats number 4, Virginia. Number 2, hits a little close to home. The NC State Wolfpack going up against the Creighton Blue Jays.
Oh, no.
So there's a chance that
Wait, do we want that to happen? Like, I understand.
I
I
get it.
The hate for Creighton, but also, like, it's the state of Nebraska still. I don't know.
I think so. Maybe you can not cheer for them, be okay if they win a couple.
Yeah.
But don't want them to win the national title.
Like,
don't want them to have too much success.
Yeah, make so like
you can make the round of 32. You can make the Sweet 16,
but then lose.
But then lose in the Sweet 16. Don't even have that much of a chance.
I honestly think it would be awesome if they made the Final Four or won the whole thing. I understand from the point of, oh, that'd be terrible because then, the Creighton fans would be like, oh, look at us, we national champ, blah, blah, all this stuff. They get all high and mighty. But I think it'd be cool for the state of Nebraska, for the city of Omaha.
In a year that Nebraska also beat Creighton.
Exactly. So you can say you beat the national champion.
I do have a confession to make to some extent.
Uh-oh.
Last year during the NCAA tournament, I took a trip down to Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
And I was hanging out with a couple buddies in the Power and Light District, and we were watching Creighton versus the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yes. They
And
should have won that game.
They should have won that game. And I remember we were the only people, obviously, from Nebraska, the three of us, in that bar. And we were sitting there going, do we stay quiet and don't tell anybody that we are from Nebraska?
Started cheering.
So we started cheering. We started yelling and going not going after, but the Kansas fans, they're passionate about their basketball.
Oh, yes.
And everywhere you looked, it was a Kansas jersey, a Kansas basketball jersey. But here we are last year. It was a good game. Okay, go through these a little quicker here.
Yeah,
We're reaching up the break. Number 3, number 13, Kent State going up against Indiana. The third highest likely upset at 33%.
I don't know. I really like Indiana.
I like Trace Jackson Davis.
He's really good.
He is good. Number 4, here's one that I picked later on tonight. I believe this one tips off a little after 6 p.m. The number 12 seed, the Drake Bulldogs.
I picked it too.
And going up against the number 5 Miami Hurricanes.
I picked it too. We're big Bulldog fans on this
Here's
show.
what's crazy. Yeah, we are pro Drake Bulldogs. What's interesting is with Miami, you'll remember that John Ruiz, one of the top boosters for Miami, spent a lot of money to get former Kansas State guard Nigel Pack to go to Miami during the offseason last year. Nigel Pack was a freshman standout for Kansas State last year. I want to say he averaged over 20 points per game. Ends up transferring for like $800,000 over the next 2 years to the. That's his NIL deal with John Ruiz. John Ruiz is the same guy that got in trouble a couple weeks ago for the NIL infractions going on with the Haley and Hannah Cavender women's basketball players at Miami. Same booster. Drew Nigel Pack to Miami last offseason.
Interesting.
And so Drake Bulldogs have a chance to upset number 5 seed Miami today. The fifth one, I guess this game happened yesterday. The College of Charleston Cougars going up against the San Diego State Aztecs.
No.
San Diego State got away with that one. Number 6, DP will appreciate this one. The VCU Rams against the St. Mary Gales.
He's doing the arm thing.
He is. Yeah. DP has a soft spot in his heart for the VCU Rams.
I wonder why.
So I'm sure that's the game he's watching on his laptop. That's the one.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
It definitely is.
Here, okay, so we got 4 more. Number 7, most likely upset in the first round.
Okay.
The Arizona State Sun Devils, who won their first 4 game, going up against the TCU Horned Frogs.
I think I picked that one.
Really?
I think I picked the Sun Devils over the Horned Frogs.
Number 8, the Pittsburgh Panthers going up against the Iowa State Cyclones.
I think I might have picked that one too.
Really? I like TJ Otzelberger a lot as Xavier misses a layup. Gosh, we're trying to multitask here. Watch this Xavier finish.
I know. I'm watching it on that one over there instead of
got a layup there as we're all knotted up at 67 with 50 seconds to go in the ball game. Last 2. Providence over Kentucky. I picked that one.
Okay,
I have Friars over the Wildcats.
No, I picked the Wildcats.
And this is one that scares me is Kennesaw State missed a layup. Here's one that scares me, Rico. The 10th most likely upset, according to The Athletic, the number 15 seed, Vermont Catamounts over the Marquette Golden Eagles. So
that one's going to happen.
Please.
That one's going to happen,
and
I'm going to laugh at you.
For all the sake. You can laugh at me and Jake, because Sorensen and I have the same national title winner.
Oh, Sorensen has
the Marquette Golden Eagles.
I hope you lose to Vermont. The Catamounts, baby.
I don't think it happens. But we'll see what happens. Rico, I will. Shoot. I guess they do tip off at 1:45. We'll both be here. I'll buy you. You want to put a beer on the line?
Sure.
Okay. You want to shake on it?
Shake on
Gentleman
it.
handshake.
You see that?
All right,
Gentleman's handshake right there.
everybody sees a gentleman handshake. A green beer.
A green beer on the line for Vermont beating Marquette.
All right, sounds good. I have
the
Marquette.
Catamounts.
He has the Catamounts. I have Marquette. We're doing this right in front
Let's
of
go, Mountain
everybody's
Cats.
eyes. Yeah, Rico.
That's what a Catamount
I
is,
can't.
right?
That's
Just
gonna be
a mountain
the
cat?
best tasting beer of St. Patrick's Day.
Like
Let's go ahead and we'll take our final time out. You're listening to the Happy Hour on the Ticket.
Shaka Sport with hair bothers me.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Boys State basketball is over, and here are your class champions. Starting with D2, local school Parkview Christian would upset number 1 Wynot 52-49. In Class D1, Johnson Brock would take down number 1 Sacred Heart 46-40. In Class C2, Freeman would dominate in the championship game over Amherst 53-35. Ashland Greenwood would take the C1 title championship, beating Auburn 54-24. In Class B, Scott Catholic beat Platteview 57-50. And in Class A, Bellevue West would finish on a perfect season, winning the championship over Miller North 64-41. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same products you've grown to love, just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups for your beverages, or anything else, Hemp Boss has it all at 84th and Andermatt. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. We encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So as of right now, the bracket is still alive. The bracket is still alive. As Xavier goes up, they go 1 of 2 at the free throw line. With I think it was 12 or 13 seconds left on the game clock.
Something like that.
They go 1 of 2 at the free throw line. On the other end, Kennesaw State gets a really good look at a layup from the right side of the glass. Great defensive play there. Did it touch the glass first?
It did.
It did not. That's a clean block.
That's a clean block.
That's a clean block there by Xavier. I'm surprised they did not call a loose or a foul.
Well,
on
that's
the floor.
what Kennesaw State's coach wanted them to call the foul.
Yeah.
And they didn't call it. And then Xavier got the rebound, and Kennesaw fouls. There's 2.6 remaining. If they make both of these, Kennesaw needs the 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's definitely not over here.
They don't have any timeouts left, so they can't advance it.
Yeah.
But either way, they're going to have a long one.
Yeah, exactly. So Xavier is just a few seconds away from escaping this one as they're at the line. I believe my eyes hopefully don't fail me. It looks like they're in the double bonus there.
They're getting 2.
So they got 2. They made the first one. So
Do you miss this one? Do you miss
no,
this one?
No, you go up by 3. You go up by 3. You go up by 3. That way, the worst thing that happens is you tie and you go to overtime.
Okay.
Because think about how much you'd be beating yourself.
Do you foul them when they inbound it?
Well, I mean that's a possibility if you want to commit a foul here. Xavier calls timeout to set up their defense.
Okay.
But here's the conversation that you're having, Rico, on that free throw. You don't want to intentionally miss it because think about that conversation is if we intentionally miss the free throw if you're Xavier and you somehow allow a 3/4 court half shot to go in. Or it doesn't hit the rim, it doesn't hit anything like that, and they get a dead ball out of bounds.
But my thing is if you I don't know if you work
it's
on missing
such a high
risk. If you miss it, they get the rebound. You're right there. It's going to be hard to get the shot off because 2.6 seconds. You're not really going to be able to pass out of getting that rebound and then get a good shot off. So there is that. But no, I understand that the not missing it and the making it and then doing whatever you got to do after that. But I'm thinking
that is going to be such a controversial call.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking here maybe a foul on the inbound just so they can't get that shot off because look. It is March. Things happen.
Yeah, wild things happen as there's 2.6 seconds remaining on the clock. Kennesaw State, they get a good look from half court, and it almost went in, but it does not. Xavier survives, and Xavier will now – it's not over. Excuse me. He stepped out of bounds. It is not over. Man, that's a really good call in real time there by the official. That's a really good call in real time. They actually got a decent look at it as well.
He did.
From half court.
Well, this is not great because now you still have to foul them unless you can get the steal. And then, foul them, hope they miss both of the free throws and get the shot off. But, you have a chance still?
Yeah, there's a chance, I suppose. Crazier things I'm sure have happened. In other games, just an update, as they're going to foul with 0.8 seconds left on the clock. So if they just sink one of the 2 free throws, Xavier will go on to win.
Yeah, now you make one, miss the second.
Yeah, so here we are, though. Other games going on currently. 54-45 is the score for the Baylor Bears over the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos.
Starting
Bears
to open it up.
Yeah, the 3 seed there. The Baylor Bears starting to open things up. Other places, Marquette leads early on 7-5 over the Vermont Catamounts. Rico and I have a little friendly wager on that one regarding a green beer. And then it looks like St. Mary's and VCU are still in a close one as well.
They're in halftime right now, so they have the Kennesaw State game on the telly.
Yeah, a lot of good games coming up the rest of the day though as well. A couple Big Ten teams in action. Purdue and Indiana will both be in action this afternoon as Xavier has officially knocked off Kennesaw State. So what a controversial call, though, on the floor, but a lot of brackets where I'm sure were saved. And as Xavier moves on to face the winner of Iowa State and, Iowa State and Pittsburgh, I believe, is who they got.
Iowa State and Pittsburgh.
Yep, Iowa State and Pittsburgh in a couple of days as well.
I had Xavier winning, so I'm happy for my bracket. I'm just sad because upsets are fun.
They are, and plus, at this point, Rico, there's been quite a few upsets.
Nobody has a perfect bracket anymore, so I don't even care.
Yeah,
although I think I'm still leading in our bracket challenge. So, yeah.
So, all right, we got about a minute left here in the show. So come on down. Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68-0. Strick is in town, or Strick is in here. Jake's in here. DP's obviously here as well. Really great crowd on hand for some March Mayhem on day number 2. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. Come on down. Green beer is available in drafts of Bud Light and Busch Light. They have these towers that I was talking to the bartender yesterday. Fits about 2.5 pitchers, and you get a pretty good deal on it.
It takes a while to fill it up, and you're going to get a lot of beer.
So bring a group down, get yourself a beer tower, fill it with some green. Yeah, well.
Although have a ride.
Have a ride. But no, get a beer tower and of green beer. It looks pretty sweet, and it'll last you for quite a while as well. Come on down, Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68-0. Have a great rest of your St. Patrick's Day on the block with Strickland coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA Tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68-0 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.